this is what gamers love. Welcome back to episode 3 of Journey Before Destination, my kind of video log of growing my corporation inside Eve, where we try to build a thriving high-sec Indian manufacturing corp. It's been a really exciting week. We've had some war information to go through. We've got ransoms, Citadel info, a lot of recruiting updates. Super excited about everything that's going on. So wanted to give you guys a really solid update this week. We'll start with recruiting. Let's see. Recruiting's been pretty good. We still have been averaging, I don't know, I'd say about a player a day. I haven't been really pushing the recruiting quite as heavily, but I still feel like it's going well. We are up to 28 members now. The thing that I'm finding is that as you are recruiting newer players to the game, and my corp is all about helping new pilots have their best start in Eve. It's an interesting proposition and a challenging thing to do, because a lot of times people are just checking out the game for the first time, and so you may have the best corp in the world, but if Eve itself doesn't really strike them as amazing, they may not last. So we actually had one guy who came in with like 4 alts or something like that. I was super excited. Day 1, he fleeted up, we mined together, did a bunch of stuff, and then I got this notification like that the guy had completely retired from Eve, all his assets, what's the word for it, were like gifted to me, and he just completely bailed. I looked into his kill board and happened to find that he had gone into a wormhole and had done some, I think he was trying to do some relic sites, and he got ganked, which I'm not surprised at all by. So I'm guessing that he just rage quit, which is unfortunate, but that type of thing happens with new players. So the biggest thing that I'm trying to do is drive player interaction to get players who are excited about the game, that are asking questions, that are joining up to do fleet stuff, because that indicates to me they're going to be around for a long term. I've had a number of players this week that were all like alpha account players that started upgrading to Omega, and so that was a positive thing to see, that's indication, hey, they're looking to stick around and play for a while. They've been really involved with some of our Discord, with some of the corp chats, fleets that we've done, so that's been really great. One other thing on the recruiting front is that I did decide that our corporation would join LinkNet. So if you're familiar with them, LinkNet is a group that brings new players into the game. They have a complete new bro corp, and then all of the partners within LinkNet run shared events and fleets and things like that, which all the LinkNet people can participate in. So they use like blue standings and stuff like that. So we did a few events this week that had some LinkNet people participate in. I'm hopeful that down the road that will lead to a source of new recruits for us. So far we haven't actually had any LinkNet people join our corporation, but we've had participation from them, which has been great. So as you can see here, I'm just running some random sites. I've been trying to run things that might give me escalations. I'm just running this so that there's something better than me sitting in a station spinning. I have been running refuges. I've got like an auto-targeting missiles with my drones, and I just sit there in orbit, and it basically auto-kills a refuge in like 90 seconds or something like that. So that's been pretty sweet, although I haven't really gotten any good escalations yet, so I've been pretty unlucky on that front. But let's see, what else have we done this week? So we did a mining fleet operation the other night. We had pretty good participation, had I think like 6 or 7 people show up. So as we're making this pocket our home, mining the rocks and everything's super important. So we had a pretty good fleet there. And then we also ran a spider fleet for mission standings games. So we picked the NPC Corp that's all around our pocket, the Minmatar Mining Corporation. and we fleeted up. Some people ran distribution missions, some people ran security missions, but we're all either new to the game or new to this region, and so we didn't have great standings to start with. But as we fleeted up for a couple hours, most people were able to get to at least level 2, I believe. So we can run security missions level 2 next time, which is in our pocket, and then hopefully we'll get up to level 3s, and then shortly after that, level 4s. So that was a good event for us, getting together, collaborating as a team, and getting everyone's mission standing up. All right, so I think the most exciting thing this past week was the fact that we prosecuted a war against somebody. So when we first moved into our system, we anchored our Athenor, and there was a Raitaru in the system that, for as best as we could tell, looked to be completely abandoned. So it was a one-person holding corp. They had like 0 history on the kill boards. Did a bunch of digging around and research, and the original CEO that founded the corp before handing it off to the Alt also had 0 PvP history. And the Raitaru itself, it didn't say abandoned, but it did not have a core, which the cores were added, in the fall of 2020. And I think you had until sometime the end of January to add a core to your Raitaru, or else it would no longer function without one. And this one just didn't have one. So our best guess was that it was rarely being used or abandoned. Since it was sitting there, I was surprised that nobody else had taken actions against this thing yet. So since it was in our home system, I didn't want to leave it sitting there. Felt like that would make us look kind of weak. And so we got together with some allies of ours, and us and our ally buddies decided to war deck it. So they're in an alliance, and we were war eligible since we had already put our Athenor up. So we declared war. We refed it, got through the shields pretty easy, put it into armor. And once that timer up, which was absolutely terrible timing for us, I think it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, but we had 6 people show up. We blapped it again, tore through the armor, we reinforced it again. That was last weekend. And then the next morning, I woke up and got in game to kind of check emails and stuff like that and see if there were new recruits or whatever. And I was sitting there and I noticed that the original CEO that had launched the Athenor before handing it to his alt holding corp was in system. I was like, no way. I thought this guy was long gone. So I sent him a message, was like, hey, let's negotiate. So long story short, we communicated for a few hours, and I made him several different offers. And the thing that was frustrating is that we found out that we were really limited by the in-game mechanics for what Eve allows you to do. So he was willing to transfer the structure to us. He was willing to do all sorts of things. But we just couldn't do it within the confines of what Eve allows you to do. So what we decided to do, after talking with my other ally who had also declared war on him, we basically ransomed him. Turns out I think he has a Marauder that was under production, and so obviously he didn't want to lose that. So we ransomed him for 1 billion ISK. My main goal was just to get rid of the Raitaru, or to have him give it to us, because my plan was to, as soon as we got that thing out of system, anchor our own. So ransom for 1 billion ISK, that was like a temporary ransom. And once the timers reset, we would both declare peace with him. The timers would reset, and his Raitaru would finish the production of his Marauder, and then he will transfer the Raitaru to us for free. Apparently it's got a pretty decent fit and like 30,000 fuel blocks or something like that. So definitely some value there, worth getting. So as it is right now, we have 1 billion ISK that we're holding on to, which is an adequate amount to go buy our own and fit it out. And I'm hopeful, though, that he does give us the Raitaru. We can go ahead and not have to worry about anchoring it. I will have to put a core in it because I think we need one. But if not, if he chooses to kind of cut bait and I guess he can unanchor his structure and pull all of his stuff out. Like, I'm fine with that. I'm holding a billion ISK of his, and we can just go buy our own and go from there. So pretty excited about that as a potential opportunity. All right, so our goals for next week are pretty short and sweet. You're looking here at what hopefully becomes our new Raitaru, and we can really get cranking with manufacturing. There's still a slight chance that this guy is not going to follow through with transferring ownership to us, but if that's the case, then we'll anchor our own Raitaru, and then we will ward declare him all over again, which the timers in high sec are awfully long, which kind of sucks, but either way, we will have a Raitaru by this time next week, and hopefully this thing will be ours or be gone. So that's really the biggest goal. Hopefully we get some more recruits to continue to join up with us, and we get more just player engagement with mining and manufacturing and mission running and everything. So that's pretty much it. So hopefully you've enjoyed this update on the corp and building our empire. And again, please, if you would like and subscribe, that would be awesome.